I feel like if they want to go for something like a melee core stack with the Magnus middle with Dandy and keep stacking Ancients and do Rosh, that would be something I would be comfortable if I'm drafting for Navi.
So Navi wants to do that, so if you're Vici, you ban, what, Troll?
Troll, yeah. Definitely the Troll.
Do you worry about Axe at all? Something Funnick's been playing a lot of? Vici haven't been playing much Axe, I don't think.
Have they been playing? How many games of Axe have Navi? I didn't see many games.
I'm not sure off the top of my head. It's at least a handful, though. Funnick has run it a couple of times.
At least 2, I think, that I've noticed.
Possibly
Maybe a few more. Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
but the one thing I feel they have more success is if they give him like very good 1v1 matchups.
Yeah.
Funnick will actually take control of the game.
Yeah.
And, you know, they can always mix things up. We saw the Funnick Clinks, I believe. Actually, was I casting with you for that, Winter? No, that was, I
don't think so.
Somebody else. But anyway, yeah, he went straight Deso. They picked Keeper of the Light, so he always had mana. So Navi, they have been busting out some kind of unusual picks. I feel like Godlike's Drafty has really improved this tournament.
Yeah.
David, any heroes that jump out as use high priority bans or picks? Any pocket strategies that come to mind? Thoughts on the draft before
how about
we
that
hop into
support Warlock, David? We saw Go Black bust that out the other day.
And
I think now we have to be very careful with the ban pick because that's obviously where they've lost games straight up in the past.
Brute Mother. VG play Brute Mother.
I think hands down Brute's going to be probably a second stage ban unless they pick up Tidal or someone for iceiceice in the first 2, then they're less worried about it.
Or maybe an Axe, I suppose.
Yeah, well. Other than that, I think Vici Gaming very versatile in their picks. Like iceiceice, I don't think you can really ban his heroes because he plays too many things. They are on the Radiant side, so Super has played, I think, a game or 2 of SF. Yeah, I was thinking SF may be a good pick for Vici Gaming, especially being on Radiant, and something which Navi aren't going to be like worried about. They're not going to be thinking, oh, we're going to ban Shadow Fiend because we're seeing EG, but it's Vici Gaming, so it's something which I feel could fit quite nicely.
All right, with that said, guys, this best of 1 has begun. The draft is underway. We're going to go ahead and hop into it. It's Vici Gaming taking on, I wanted to say newbie for some reason, but not newbie, Navi.
The other end.
A team that's actually performing so far.
Oh, the shots, LD.
The facts.
LD with the facts. Those accurate facts, as always. All right, so what are we working on here? Navi on the dire side, as Winner pointed out. They'll ban out Wisp and Bat Rider. Vici with the Jug Chen opening bans, leaving for a first pick Axe on the side of Go Black.
I think Vici thought they'd take the Troll, and the problem is with that is now Vici are like, we don't really want to take Troll ourselves, maybe.
It's not a hero they've been running.
Yeah, one thing they have to axe, they have something to deal with the Brute Mother just in case they...
Yeah, preemptive.
Really nice.
They don't feel like banning Brute Mother again, and they have something to deal with it later on.
So they have Funnick's hero. Havost's favorite hero right now in this patch is the Troll, I would say. Certainly top 2 or 3. And it is out there. Something they could go for.
But I imagine if Vici Gaming don't go for the Troll, another hero that they might want to consider other than the Troll would be just getting the Lion. Every game we see here, almost, Axe has been paired with Lion with great success.
Well, right off the bat, bench Drow. Wow. They don't.
Okay.
They ain't messing around.
Auras galore here for Vici Gaming.
And this can punish the Spin Lords if you're able to have a powerful start in the laning stage. You out-CS them with the Aura, you start grouping up and fighting, and when they try to run at you, you just right-click them down. But it can also go the other way. If you give up a couple of kills, suddenly acts as a blink. You know, maybe they pick something else that's good at face rush and just run all over you. It's a very delicate balance between the two styles.
We're seeing a lot of the Drow run in these 2-core lineups too. Like there's been these Drow Morphlings,
Drow Shadow Fiend.
Drow Shadow Fiend. I wonder what Super is going to be playing though, because I don't think he's ever really played Morphling. So
no, when he plays a core, it's usually Shadow Fiend, or TA Invoker, like the real as a core. But he hasn't. I have not seen him play Morphling, apart from maybe IG picks Morphling mid.
You know what I miss? I miss his Invoker. He used to play a fantastic Invoker.
He used to play a lot of Invoker, but now Navi responds with having their first support of the game, which is the Rubik, which I did not expect it so much, but. Yeah, I guess Navi likes to put bank score on the Rubik.
Yeah, they've been first 2 picking this a lot of the tournament, and it's just a comfort thing. I think there's not much. I mean, obviously it's a good hero, but they're the only team first 2 picking it out of just pure comfort.
Yeah, we saw Vanscore playing Rubik. I think a good bit at Starladder, even predating that. So
teams started even first banning it. That was kind of crazy.
I mean it's it can be a hard hero to deal with if it's in the hands of a player like Vanscore, and also depending on what you want to go for with your draft.
And
So far, not too dangerous against bench Dro.
It's like also depends on the enemy lineup. You know, you must be able to have good spells to use at the same time. So far, Venge and Drow, nothing really big comes to my mind yet for Rubik, but we'll see. There's 3 more picks coming in for VG, and hopefully something that Rubik can steal and be useful.
I feel like there's always going to be some spells for a Rubik. They may not be a Black Hole or a Ravage, but it's always something. And you see the Rubik pick, I don't feel like it affects your own draft too much. Like for Vici Gaming, they see that and they're like, well, we're not going to pick an Enigma now. An Enigma is something they run once in a blue moon, maybe for iceiceice in the offlane, but it's not really going to actually limit them too much when they see this Rubik pick.
I like this ban by Vici Gaming. A lot of teams, if they pick an Axe, there's no way they'd fit in a Centaur, but Navi, generally it's Funnick on the Axe, and they have run the Havos Centaur a couple of times, and I think most would agree Centaur is, if not the best offlaner slash initiator to deal with Drow, then top 2 or 3.
Yeah.
That Stampede just completely crushes any efforts to reposition her.
Yeah. Anybody who can close gaps is good, and Centaurs gives you that ability for everybody to close the gap, so.
Interesting, they actually banned Invoker. Now, has it ever not been Black playing the Drow? Because I have not seen Vici run Invoker for anyone except for Black for a long time.
Quas Wax Invoker could be something.
Actually, I guess they've run it a handful of times.
iceiceice plays Invoker every so
That's
often.
Not for Vici.
Not for Vici, never on Vici?
He's not played Invoker ever since they had this roster. It's either
I'd say it's like 70-80% Black Exhort Invoker and like 20-30% Super Class.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're right. He has played it a few times.
Yeah.
But it's fairly uncommon.
I feel like they do that. I feel like last time I saw it was a safe lane. They did an aggro try, and it was like a safe lane Invoker, which I don't think happens so often anymore.
Yeah, they do want to limit the number of strong ranged complements to this Visage Drow, it looks like.
An Enchantress ban. That's interesting.
That's especially weird.
I don't think not. Have we even seen an Enchantress pick this tournament?
Yeah, Banana ran one for Newbie, and well, you know where Newbie are right now. So
Yeah,
I don't think they won that game.
If it's coming from the God's Enchantress, then
Yeah.
if you're even down on it.
Oh.
Okay, so there's your range mid hero, which probably super on the Medusa, I guess. I don't know. It's normally black on it, but with the Drow, it's
usually Black plays the Medusa. But
yeah.
if this happens, I'm not sure how they will be allocating the heroes.
I feel like Black's more likely to play the Drow Ranger.
Yeah, probably Super Medusa, similar with that solo mid style.
I actually think Medusa should be technically the more heavy farmer, so it would actually suit Black's position more if you go by the roles in their team.
I feel like Medusa's the easier hero to play though, and that's where it's like if Super's being put outside of his comfort zone, suddenly playing Drow Ranger's so squishy and positioning so tricky. It's like I feel like that's a lot harder for Super to do rather than Medusa, where you're just in the front lines tanking up.
Yeah, basically Medusa just feels more like a Black's position hero in their team.
Yeah.
Alright, well, what do Navi do now? How do they deal with the Medusa?
Mana burn. Usually
There's a lot of options.
Mana burn.
They banned one of the best options, the Invoker. What's left? Anti-Mage, Nyx, or a Necrobook carrier. We could see maybe the Beastmaster mid. You never know. Not going to match up particularly well, though.
There's still the Lycan though, but Navi generally doesn't pick Lycan.
Yeah. Lion's still in the pool, but that's not really a Go Black support, and not the best pair with a Rubik. So I think they may focus more like just on the laning stage.
Gobla is gonna play some sort of defensive support.
Abaddon. Dazzle might be really good this game as well.
Dazzle.
There's a lot of physical damage.
I'm thinking more to Dazzle because of the physical damage, and the Grave would be really useful when the enemy doesn't have a single spell that actually kills you directly, and you can actually use the Grave to full effectiveness.
Yeah. Like Ancient Apparition could be an okay support choice for Navi.
Dendi Shadow Fiend.
Here we go. Wow, Vici Phoenix with their 4th pick.
Firebird.
Now, is this support Phoenix, offlane Phoenix for iceiceice?
They do.
I'm inclined to say
do
offline.
both. They do both, but usually it's a offlane core
Yeah.
Phoenix. Usually it's a core Phoenix. Sometimes they do run it as a 4 position.
At the summit, it was Fenrir playing it mostly as a 4-position support.
I know it's one of the heroes iceiceice likes to play in pubs a lot when he goes offlane.
Yeah, it's really strong in certain situations where your carry like a Medusa. I think I talked about this before with you. Medusa standing in front line, Phoenix just stands behind with the Sunray, constantly healing the Medusa, and Medusa just becomes so much stronger just because of that. And when you don't have the Sunray up, the Supernova is just going to be another thing to defend the Medusa.
You know, what would make it better is also having a Pugna. So then you're just constantly healing it.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that mechanic.
Yeah.
I miss Pugna.
And Stone Gaze is a good way of guaranteeing your Supernova gets off as well. So
Yeah, it's a really great combination. So that's gonna be our Gold Blood support, Abaddon.
Oh,
so
yeah.
seems like it's gonna be a dual lane yet again. Axe plus Abaddon off lane, I guess.
yeah. They still just need the Havos here. I guess Havos could theoretically play an Axe, but it's almost always been Funnick on this.
Mm-hmm. Troll is still out there. What else has Havos been playing this tournament?
Troll is really good against the Supernova, I have to say.
And Winter, we saw earlier today that Troll can outcarry Medusa if you get far enough ahead.
Yeah, the Midas Mask of Madness.
And Havos is a very efficient farmer when he wants to.
Yeah, Troll could still be a really great option here, like considering that situation. But I'm not sure what else are they considering, because most of the games they've been picking Troll really early, and this game they left Troll really late, and it's gonna be
Bristleback he's played.
there's a chance that it might get banned in the last one by Vici Gaming. There's a slight chance because it's obvious that the last hero would probably be Havos hero.
He's played a lot of Bristle and Jug. If you look at his recent history, it's a stunning amount of Juggernaut that old Havost has been playing.
Yeah, the Vici going with the obvious Troll ban here.
Yeah.
So he's gonna have to mix it up. What do you think, guys?
Centaur's been banned out, another one he's been playing a lot.
Slark has been a hero that some teams have tried to use to deal with Medusa.
Yeah, Slug
Essence Shift.
is very good against Medusa late game with the Essence Shift.
I mean, not that this is like Medusa versus Havos, but it's obviously something you want to keep in mind to some extent with your pick.
Radiant team pick.
Gods, any ideas?
I feel like having a BKB carry is always good against the Phoenix Egg, so you can actually kill it while you're in BKB form, because the Fire Spirit slow you down
You
so
know,
much.
that's the other reason the Troll ban is really necessary here, is you're running a Phoenix.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So Vici is gonna complete their draft with a Wind Ranger.
Right.
This would probably mean that the Phoenix will be the support.
Yeah.
Wind Ranger will be the off laner. Yeah.
Do they dual lane here?
Dual lane. They would probably dual lane the Phoenix plus Wind Ranger.
Yeah, Phoenix Wind Ranger seems very potent in the
Yeah.
offlane. But they know Na'Vi are running
10
dual lanes
seconds
most
to
likely
pick.
as well. This could force Na'Vi to put the Abaddon in defensive lane, and then Funnick gets
5
nothing out of the
seconds.
offlane.
And then maybe he goes jungle, Black can go greedier.
Nah, I think it would still be the same plan for them.
The Gyrocopter. Okay.
They want something with more laning presence.
This
so
is
it
like the
seems.
BKB kind of
Yeah.
carry where you have a way of actually killing the egg when Havos gets a BKB, and the laning stage is going to be really tricky against the Phoenix, the Wind Ranger, and just the Drow Aura with 5 ranged heroes.
All right, so with the draft complete, Winter, we're going to be stepping out soon. But before we do, overall thoughts on the draft? Who do you think is going to win? You got to make a bet.
Navi's heroes, very good mix of spell damage with Shadowfiend and Gyro, good physical damage with Axe, Abaddon providing the cover. But if it goes really late game, I would think that it's going to be the advantage with the Medusa and the Phoenix Egg and the Drow Ranger. So Navi, if they have a semi-good or alright start,
Only 10
they need to be
seconds.
able to push and try to gain an advantage. Otherwise, late game wise, I think
5
Medusa
seconds
side will
remain.
have the advantage. So I feel I would be going with VG with this line. Feels much more secure.
Okay.
All right.
Gods, do you agree?
I agree, which is, I mean, considering they just went like with a kind of unconventional
Just a
draft,
minute
like
or
with the
so now
Phoenix
until the game
and the
starts.
Drow first 2
Patience.
pick, but it still feels like Vici Gaming have a clear plan, and
Well,
I think
look who's come
an answer to
crawling
the
back.
early
Yeah,
axe
it's a
pick.
safer plan, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Andrew, rounding things out, are you all aboard the Vici Gaming hype train? A win here puts them firmly in top 4.
I'm going to be the contrarian. I think Na'Vi going to hang on to the momentum here. I have some faith in the Havos Gyrocopter. Come on, old 4, don't let me down.
All right, with that said, guys, we hand it off to our casters. Iori Gods will be taking you through this big showdown here. Na'Vi versus Vici Gaming. Here we go.
All right. So, Vici versus Na'Vi, Radiant side. We've got Vici, and looks like Na'Vi maybe gearing up for an aggro try. I want to do some rosters quickly here. On the Vengeful Spirit, we will have none other than, what's that, FY? Nope, that's Fenrir on the Vengeful Spirit. We've got Black on the Drow Ranger in the safe lane. Moving across here, we've got Super on the Medusa, the Snake Lady headed mid. Ice on the Phoenix. And that will leave us with FY on the Wind Ranger. So I guess it will still be the offlane Phoenix and actually support Wind Ranger.
Okay, on the dire side, Funnick going to be playing the Axe. It's going to be in the off lane. The trialing for Na'Vi, Havos, Gyrocopter, Goblek on the Abaddon, and Vengscore on the Rubik, leaving Dendi in your mid lane on the Shadow Fiend.
Murder each other for
Yeah, two of the best rapier carries here in the game. Medusa on one side, Gyrocopter on the other. Things could really heat up towards that late game, gods. Rapier on rapier action. A lot of archers on the side of Vici as well.
Yeah.
Going with the lore strat. All right, so it'll be a safe lane try for Vici Gaming, and it looks like Navi got all in for this aggro try with the Abaddon Rubik Gyro.
Vici Gaming also going with the all-female draft. Well, I don't know what Phoenix is, but
Brian says it's
our
a
producer
male.
says male, but
I guess
it's
I'll
a
have to
bird.
believe
I
it.
feel like
Birds don't have genders; they lay eggs.
when you hear the call, is it a masculine or a feminine call? Like, it's got a cloaca. So he does biology. I'll trust him on that one. I don't know what the hell that word means.
All right, cloacas all around. So we've got Phoenix versus Axe. Looks like Axe should be able to fare decently, at least out of the gate, getting the initial round of CS. But this try-on-try, who's got the advantage here, gods? Wind Ranger and Vengeful Spirit, an interesting support duo.
I think Vici Gaming are in a slightly better position because they can use their pulls to deny XP and pull the wave back pretty well, and just having 3 heroes all with our aura. But it's going to be hard. If someone ever gets caught up by a lift and pull back in, they don't have any real good defensive capabilities. FY hasn't skilled anything just yet. He may have to go for like a level 1 shackle shot for like that defensive stun, but just single target stuns. And actually Vengscore, he's the one kind of out of position here. Be a bit careful, but they've got the Abaddon, so they've got much more room for error, whereas Vici Gaming have to play very perfectly.
Yeah, true. And
That's a full rocket barrage on the FY.
oh my, he'll survive, but chewing through that regeneration down to 1 tango. Only 2 left here on the finger. He'll get telekinesis back. Beautiful shackle. Latches onto the Vanscore, and Havos gets Aphotic shielded as they exchange damage, but it looks like Na'Vi get the better of the trade and will win the regeneration war, at least initially.
Yeah, this rating. All right, Phoenix gender neutral.
Gender,
So
they use its instead of his or her,
Okay.
so it's ambiguous. 4 girls and an it.
hey, it's their
Still a pretty
their
femi lineup.
transportation.
I like that.
Yeah, they'll fly around.
Mid looks like Shadow Fiend and Dusa getting a pretty even spread here. The Dusa slightly ahead, as you'd expect, as Dendi ramps up some of that momentum. Looks like Super will grab a double damage rune, so
That's a nice rune to have.
3 last hits for him here. Yeah, not too bad. Looks like Vanscore grabs the bounty rune down bottom. So looking good for Na'Vi initially here. Axe winning the top lane by a few CS, and it seems like this tri-lane, although relatively even, is in favor of Na'Vi, at least for now.
Yeah. The Phoenix, his damage output's pretty minimal with his spells at the early levels, but once he hits level 5, level 6, that's when he can start putting a bit more pressure onto the Axe as far as using his fire spirits a bit more aggressively.
Yeah. Phoenix will start to come online, though. Still no kills yet. 3 minutes in this try-on-try. Looks like Black is, or pardon me, falling behind in the farm. Yeah, he's at about 6, Havos up to 13, and the big issue is regeneration. Black is out. I want to see these
Everyone's
two supports.
out.
Everyone's
Yeah.
totally dry on regen, so yeah, nothing they can do besides hide behind the tower.
Na'Vi have 11 tangos between their 3 heroes.
Oh
so.
my, and you have the Abaddon on top of that to throw out the mist coils. So even additional healing. So what do you do if you're Vici at this point? It's I think it's safe to say they've lost this tri-lane, even though no one's died yet.
Yeah, they bought some more tangos back at base. They'll probably just look to ferry out like 2 sets of 4 tangos on the 2 supports, and I'm surprised they're not going for pulls. I guess they're a bit worried about just getting dived into the tower because it's a gyrocopter with a potential aphotic shield on himself, so they don't want to be putting themselves in a position where there's a way to take the tower hits and then, well, a gyrocopter to do the damage on the heroes. Phoenix probably, once level 6, I think iceiceice needs to pick up a TP scroll so he has a TP for that dive at the bottom lane, and that's when Vici Gaming can look to play a bit more, not really offensive, but they can look to just use the pulls, look to kind of deny XP and keep the wave back in a position where they don't actually have, where they may get dived, because I think they almost want Na'Vi to dive them once Phoenix has a TP scroll.
Yeah, so it looks like down bottom Vici have opened up their pole camp here. I see some sentries down in the jungle.
They've had the pull camp
Was
the
it actually
entire
blocked?
lane.
No, they've had it. They haven't pulled yet, have they?
No, they're just too worried about a gyro dive, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the Rocket Barrage is particularly potent in these early levels if you can catch him without creeps nearby. Now, the Rubik has rotated. Vanscore has moved to the mid lane. I believe he had an invisibility rune on. Yeah, he's got a good like 10 seconds at least left on it. But with him missing off the map, they will play a bit more cautiously, and Super with pretty good positioning here.
Yeah, and with 2 points in Mana Shield, would need a triple raise to get this kill. I don't even think that gets the kill, so...
Yeah, the Mana Shield does make things a little more difficult. And he's got plenty of bottle charges. Skills up the Stone Gaze at level 6. Meanwhile, on the top lane, Funnick finds the first blood. It'll be a 1-for-1 trade, but he gets the dunk before he goes down. And not too bad for the Axe. Now, meanwhile, down bottom, Havos stunned up, now slowed from the frost arrows there from the Dro. They will continue to pursue as far as they can. Do they dive the tower for this? They do not, especially with an Abaddon nearby and a Rubik inbound. They'll be happy just to finally get some lane control back and push back the likes of Na'Vi.
Okay, so first blood going to Na'Vi and Funnick. We're pretty happy with that exchange. Not often used. Well, and this is what, I mean, we talked about it in the pre-show. Funnick with a 1v1 lane, this is kind of where he shines. This is where he does great. iceiceice similarly loves these 1v1 matchups, but it's Funnick who gets the slightly better exchange.
Yeah, oh, Shackle Shot latches onto Havos, but the support is there. The heals from Go Black and the telekinesis from Vanscore will slow things down, but now they're on cooldown. Stun onto Havos again. The Abaddon proving to be a thorn in the side of VG and quelling their attempts for a kill on the Gyro.
Yeah, they did buy a lot of extra regen. They all ran out of regen, and all three heroes in this bottom Vici Gaming trial lane bought an extra set of Tengos, which they've almost chewed through once more.
Wow. Oh, another Shackle Shot onto Havos. They're doing a lot of damage here. Go Black finally out of mana. Oh, as he goes up the Fnatic Shield, but they're going to turn on a Fenrir. Exactly. Vanscore sets it up. FY will be able to wind run away. Flat Cannon online, and it looks like Black will live. Meanwhile, top. Ooh, Berserker's Call. Looks like it was a miss there from Funnick. So, okay, good news for Na'Vi down there. What does the Abaddon have? Does he have any kind of regen items? Does he have a Soul Ring or anything quite yet? Nope, just boots and a wand. So this may be an issue for Na'Vi if he can't ferry down a Clarity or find some sort of regen item. I guess they do have a Basilius, so that helps.
So mid lane Dendi is crushing the CS. 49
my.
to the 29 of Super, and normally Juicy just sits mid, does pretty well for last hits, but against an SF, once SF gets that plus 60 damage from the souls, well then you're looking like pretty sad Deucer. You can use your Mystic Snake and kind of spam your nuke a bit, but you don't match up to the SF in terms of damage.
Yeah, we're going to cut to another camera here, folks, in just a second. Sorry about the little lag issues we're having. But don't worry, you're not missing anything. Everyone's just farming away. And there we go. So FY going to be able to pull and finally get more lane control back for his team. Havos, how's the CS matching up? 32 compared to the 18 of Blackstro.
All three lanes just being won. There's a CS advantage, a much lower CS for both the carries in the bottom lane, but you look at the mid lane as SF dominating, Axe also dominating on CS and getting the first blood, so Na'Vi, definitely not a fluke at this point that they're...
1,000 net worth lead at 8 minutes, gods.
And that's huge! Yeah, that's just with a 1 kill edge as well, that's the crazy thing about that one.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm in the jungle here. Ooh, just a wind run away. And now Na'Vi making a big rotation. Looks like they want to secure this bounty rune. Alright, they'll head back down. Ooh, Midas Shadow Fiend. Okay, this is interesting. I was casting with Winter earlier, and we were talking about Midas on Shadow Fiend, and I commented on we've seen a surprising lack of it in this tournament. It's been almost exclusively mechs or Yules or some other utility item right away, and here Dendi feeling confident going the greedy build, given that they're so far ahead already.
Yeah, and I think just feeling like there's no pressure on him to join up with the fights. The lanes are all being won, so it's going to be the Axe who can come to the fights while the SF just keeps on farming.
And also with Adusa in your lane, you know her solo kill potential is basically non-existent, and as long as they can keep tabs on the supports of Vici, he should be pretty safe, at least for the next 5 minutes or so while that Midas starts to come online and pay some dividends.
Yep, and Funnick's got his Vanguard now flying out on the Courier, so this is where he becomes not unkillable, but it's going to take at least one support, probably even more than just a support rotation to bring down the Axe here, as iceiceice may be level 8, but he's not really going to be able to kill Funnick on his own.
Yeah, so Funnick...
Well, he's going for it, though. He's got the max fire spirits. He's actually going for this kill. Funnick just needs to get out of range. He's trapped by the side here. What do I know?
Make it out?
Well, he gets the refresh.
Okay. Okay, no, that's not happening for Funnick. Yeah, good.
All right, I just say you need a support rotation, and iceiceice just solo kills him.
Well,
that happens.
The positioning there from iceiceice is what's genius, because there was really nowhere for Funnick to go. He was stuck at the side shop, and you can only get so far away with all the trees there. So
he just had to run straight north, which was a bit of an odd choice to trap himself off to the side there against the wall, but even running north, he was already slowed by the dive, which has a move speed slow.
Yeah, exactly. I think he was worried about making it out, wanted to try to take the fastest path to get away from that kind of focal point near the supernova. But either way, nice setup from iceiceice, and that'll level it up 2-2, just shy of the 10-minute mark, as the Axe, who was dominating the lane, does get knocked down a few rungs. And now that top lane is going to be pretty even. Iceiceice picks up his urn and hanging on to some gloves of haste, perhaps thinking about a Hand of Midas here.
Okay, this is a hero that doesn't need much in the way of items. It's much more about the levels, getting the fast level 11 especially, and even just to get that level 16 as early as possible into the game. So I kind of like the Midas build on the Phoenix here.
Yeah, and he's just doing some neutrals here. And a lot of XP. He'll have a very fast level 11, especially with that solo kill. So Funnick, no Blink Dagger this early on means he can't really move around and control tempos in other lanes, but it does mean he can do shenanigans like this. Farm the Ancients, a nice double stack for him, as Dendi bottles up a double damage.
Alright, Dendi not really going to be looking too much to take a fight. He's happy just to keep seeing mid cause Super problems by just not letting him farm too well, and with the DD rune, Super's definitely not getting CS outside of his Mystic Snake. So the offensive trial being very quiet. It's not really even been an offensive trial. It's just been a let's trial in the bottom lane and not let this Drow Ranger farm. 32 CS only for Black on the Drow. Not exactly a hero that's going to be able to have much of an impact without levels here. Even looking just for that level 6 to get the marksmanship.
Oh my. Yeah, this is really scary. Drow is a hero notorious for not playing well from behind, though. The bug's initiated on here. Call down flies through, buys him a little bit of time. Phoenix with a good supernova will zone everyone out, but Vanscore goes on to Black. Juan keeps Black alive as Vanscore really wants this kill. Not going to find it, instead gets shackled and will go down himself. The rest of Na'Vi all survive as Phoenix zones them out but can't find a kill of his own.
Yeah, so you rotate your Phoenix and just get the Rubik. Go Black almost died as well, but it still feels like that didn't actually hurt Na'Vi too much. They lose just a support. The Supernova goes on cooldown, so across the board it's not the worst result for them, but I mean, for Vici Gaming's point of view, they just want to open up that bottom lane, get Black as much of a clear space as possible to get his farm on. He may even just pick up a Mask of Death now to allow... Yeah, he can pick up the Mask of Death and allow himself to jungle.
Super forced to use the ultimate here. Even a Requiem gets channeled to try and deal with the Stone Gaze. The battle over the rune will yield in Dendi getting up that bounty. Invis in the bottom, but no one going to go for it quite yet.
Yeah, Drow's actually can at least catch up on farm now. Level 6, so you've got your huge agi boost, not to mention the lifesteal, so jungle is open. But top lane, we see Funnick aggressively kind of looking to allow Voss to bring down this tier 1 tower, but with the Phoenix here, this is not going to be an easy take.
Yeah, Funnick coming around the backside. Of course, Icarus Dive is available. And yeah, iceiceice going to move to the backside here, just shooting out those fire spirits. Tower stays standing. The laser trying to soften up Funnick a little bit. Another shackle will latch. And no way Funnick survives this one as the magic missile comes out. Berserker's call for a little bit of extra armor, but a stray arrow from FY will secure it. Vici pulling ahead 4-2 as they defend that top tier 1.
This Phoenix just being such a high level allows him to have such an impact on this game.
Yeah.
Even without the supernova there, just his fire spirits, his dive, and the sunray are already level 2 now, doing a lot of damage to the Na'Vi heroes. And Axe, who is not meant to be pretty damn tanky, especially with a Vanguard at this stage of the game. But Funnick, since getting this Vanguard, he got solo killed by the Phoenix, dies there to a rotation, so he was almost doing better before he got this Vanguard. Yeah. And his Blink Dagger's looking very slow at this rate.
Yeah. Noticed Phoenix was only 3 points in the Icarus dive. Is there a break point there? Why not max it out if you're going to go this deep? No, just a little extra damage, so just looking for that buffed up Sunray now.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Phoenix players go like only 2 points in the dive and then go back to the
dive
Sunray.
Scales so poorly. Oh my gosh, it's just damage.
Yeah, you just get damage. There's no cooldown change.
It's like a 1 point wonder almost. Like who levels Icarus dive with the damage?
It seems 2 is like the value, but if you're getting this many levels for solo kill potential, maybe the dives, I don't know. I feel like I personally have seen most people go for a 2 dive, then Sunray.
Yeah.
Especially the support one.
Yeah, the Sunray just scales so much better. That's the other thing.
I guess as a Midas offlaner who's already level 11, he's going to be 14 in no time. He's going to have everything maxed.
True enough, true enough. Definitely splitting hairs. There's It's more curious than anything else why the 3 points. I don't see most Phoenixes stop at the 3 points. It's either 2 or 4. You know, go full damage or go for that little value.
The Sunray scales really well though.
Oh yeah, yeah. The heal especially is really nice. So we just see a smoke from Vici. Roche was taken out by Navi, I believe. Who picked up the Aegis? Was it Dendi?
Yeah.
Yep,
He soloed it with a Mask of Madness pickup. He's going for a huge glass cannon, very risky build here with a Mask of Madness into a Shadow Blade.
Whoa, okay. Much different take on this hero from what we've seen most other SF do in this tournament. Phonic in the top lane. Wrong place at the wrong time, buddy. Ice goes in. He takes a magic missile. Now the Icarus dive forward. Even a supernova used for this. Swap back. Oh, the setup is fresh. Now even a shackle to the trees. Vici are on fire here, Parker.
They didn't get the Tau tonight. They tried to sneak that one as well with the FY Wind Ranger, and that was what was baiting the Axe into that one, but still a nice kill once again. Slow down the Axe Blade. He is on 1800 gold though, so we'll have it soon, but Phonic 1 and 4 has not been his day.
Yeah, nice synergy though with that swap in the supernova. You can pretty much ensure someone's going to get hit by it in all these team fights, assuming the Venge isn't the one initiated on. Fun little synergy there.
Yeah, Dendi almost with the Shadow Blade now. He's got just 100 more gold to farm, and we'll see what his next move is going to be. I feel like with this Shadow Blade, he's going to be looking for solo kills around the map. The other big benefit of having all this extra attack speed from Midas, from Mask of Madness, even the Shadow Blade giving attack speed, is being able to kill the Supernova. This is where normally I feel like you would not see this Mask of Madness build. It's very high risk. He'll get the BKB, I imagine, as his next item after the Shadow Blade, and BKB Mask of Madness, you can bring down that egg pretty damn fast.
Yeah, you're right though. You look at all of his items, even power treads, everything Dendi's building here has some sort of secondary synergy with attack speed. So hedging his bets well and bottling up another bounty rune here at the 16-minute mark. Dendi #1 on net worth by a good bit, but it's iceiceice at #2. Him and FY will group up in the top, finish off that tier 1 tower, leaving Navi with just 1 tier 1 remaining in the bottom. Though soon to be at 1 themselves is Navi pressuring the tier 1 in the bottom lane. And look at these lane wards they've got down here. One behind the tier 1 and just a fresh one here right into that jungle. They are ready to stay aggressive.
Oh yeah, they don't want to just let Black catch up on farm in the jungle here. Meanwhile, top lane, Phonic gets scouted out by FY, but that's going to be a kind of non-exchange.
So how is Black actually faring? Net worth at the tail end of the cores, 5.3k, nearly doubled by the Shadow Fiend.
At this point, he's got at least can offer something to his team. Having levels, getting points in the precision aura, everyone gets a bonus 23 damage for the time being. It's not much, but once he gets level 11, he'll have 2 in the marksmanship, the max aura, and then he can even give everyone like around plus 40, plus 45. So having 5 ranged heroes, everyone in some sense is going to be at least a semi-carry. Your Wind Ranger just hitting shackles and right-clicking can do some good damage as well.
Yeah, very true. Smoke rotation now from Vici as they move into the dire jungle. Wind Ranger will be in the mid, and she's actually kind of the target they're looking at. Is that the power shot here, stolen by Rubik? Yep, okay, nothing too crazy.
Both teams just trading towers a lot this game. You got Vici Gaming, who don't seem to want to fight too much when Navi have like a positioning advantage already, but this mid lane, actually, mid lane is being pressured by Navi, but it's a tier 2 at top that Vici Gaming may find with the Phonic Axe skill.
Yeah, Phonic's actually moving on up. Okay, gets the Blink Dagger and we'll be able to blink back to safety, but playing with fire, he's already been caught out a couple of times in similar situations. Dendi in the mid, looking to chip at this tower. Ice comes in to soften him up with the Icarus dive. He'll Shadow Blade away. And for now, Navi will be repelled, as will Vici at the tier 2 top. Yeah. So both sides going to stop trading for now. Mech now up on the Wind Ranger.
Okay, and Vici Gaming have a really good team fight. They're not playing too aggressive because Dendi does have the Aegis on Shadow Fiend, so it's a bit of a high risk to try and take a fight, especially if he's the one you go on and he's got that second life. But Havos with a BKB gets a nice item on his own to take on this Vici Gaming kind of. I imagine it's going to be somewhat of a 5-man coming soon. They've got Medusa ready to fight. I think they can just fight as 4 while the Drow farms, even if they don't want to involve Black too much.
Yeah, Havost actually opting to skip the drums here. I feel like usually when he plays the gyro and goes to this build, he does the same thing except actually upgrades that bracer before committing to the BKB. So here it's really prioritizing that early skirmish ability, making sure that he can fight as soon as the team needs him to. Dendi starting to just lay into this tier 1 tower mid. Vici very adamant about defending though. They will rotate 5 heroes. As I say that, the Wind Ranger TP's back, but everybody in this general vicinity ready to defend if Navi do overcommit.
Aegis gone though, so I think Navi not even going to commit at this point, so they'll back off.
They instantly back out as soon as it expires. Nice triple stack here though, they can clear up.
Yeah, for Dendi and Avos, like sure Avos is good at BKB, but Dendi is a glass cannon and needs more items for himself.
So where does Dendy go from here, though, with this kind of interesting build he started with? Okay, there he answers my question. The crit, straight glass cannon, all damage for the Dendy Shadow Fiend. I like it, gods, but it feels a little risky.
It feels so risky, but I'm
into it.
Me too, man.
As a spectator, it's awesome, but as the Navi fan, I'm a little shaky on it right now. We'll see.
I mean, he's going to be the main damage to bring down the Medusa, and at the end of the day, going glass cannon is great for that. And he's going to rely on the Abaddon to keep him alive. The Axe with the blink calls. He's going to have to play very conservatively with this glass cannon build and just play around his teammates.
They do have good space creators for it, though. Even the Rubik, if somebody gets right up in his face, they've got a telekinesis, they've got Fade Bolt to try to mitigate some of that aura damage coming out. Hopefully he can sit in the way back, or hopefully for his sake at least. But Vici Gaming still in pretty good shape themselves. This Medusa continuing to farm, getting towards the Scotty. Now Fenrir initiated on in the mid, jumped on and brought down in a matter of seconds. Not even a dunk as GoBlack gets the kill. Provost will use the BKB, call down flying through. They get a kill on iceiceice now. Tower will fall. Stone Gaze buys Vici some time to disengage, and they'll cut their losses there as a 2-0 with this tier 1 tower down. But Na'Vi, they're not done yet, guys. They're going to keep on going. Recognizing the Stone Gaze is down. Funnick hops in right onto Super. He's low on mana. The dunks are coming. There it is. It'll be a 3-0 now in the mid. Dendy almost ties to the tower, but GoBlack will keep him safe, and now he'll lifesteal into the neutral.
Oh man, Vici Gaming just not all on the same page as one another. You've got the Phoenix who went in underneath the tower. The problem was ultimately the Venge had been kind of caught out by the blink call, but after that, they either need to commit or they need to just back off. Phoenix went in with the dive plus Supernova. Meanwhile, the Medusa was backing off. They needed to basically use the Stone Gaze with the Supernova, or they don't stand a chance in a team fight.
Yeah.
Na'Vi have way too much damage at this stage of the game with the Shadow Fiend and the way he's itemized.
Yeah. So it's up to about a 7,500 gold or net worth and experience advantage here for the Dire. Na'Vi pulling further and further into the lead. Dro Ranger still struggling to get her core set of items. Yasha and Mask of Madness now up on her power treads, but still at the tail end of the pack, and the gap is growing. Dendy's staying a consistent about 100% ahead of him in terms of farm.
Yeah, it's almost it's one of those things when Vici Gaming a few minutes ago, not the case anymore, when iceiceice on Phoenix is your highest net worth hero, that's a problem because he is the kind of space creator / utility hero of their 3 cores. It's the Dusa and the Dro Ranger who are the 2 real carries, so you don't want to be giving, it's not so much that he's taking farm away from them, it's just that he's the one that Na'Vi are not pressuring. So he gets all this farm, but it's Black who got tri-laned against, didn't get anything out of the safe lane. The Medusa who lost the mid lane to a Shadow Fiend and didn't get any support help because Na'Vi were running their offensive tri-lane. So Vici's supports were locked down in that bottom lane, and as a result, both Vici carries are constantly trying to just catch up to the SF, catch up to the Havos Gyrocopter.
Yeah, in general, the aggro tries seem to be a little bit of a rarity on this patch, but in this game, Na'Vi with a very clear game plan and really making it work. And even the top lane, Axe kind of won the laning phase, and then, well, the beginning of the laning phase, I guess, then iceiceice came back. So now even in net worth, they're at a pretty even state, just constantly trading back and forth for that 4th, 5th slot. Bottom tier 1 now for Na'Vi almost goes down. They will glyph it just at the last second. Super initiated on behind the tower. Stone Gaze is there. And who's actually going to be the first to die? Tower goes down. Medusa will get the last hit there. Huge split shot damage coming out despite the call down. Now the Stone Gaze is utilized. Dendy may get petrified here. He'll get stunned up from the Supernova instead. But somehow Na'Vi still have all 5 alive. Now the Requiem goes off. Oh, no.
But it's not enough, though. Phoenix with a second life. This Phoenix is just doing so much damage. And the Skadi from the Medusa. No one can run the slows from this Vici Gaming team. You're just locked in place.
Both sides so tanky. I'm surprised it was only 4 heroes dead after all those cooldowns were burned. Stone Gaze from the Rubik, nicely played, but like you said, unfortunately just not enough to turn things around. It will be a huge gain for Vici. About 2,500 net worth as they now move into the tier 2. Phoenix with the Sunray here, just healing them all up. They get 2 towers out of it. Vici now regaining a lot of that lost footing.
That's how I felt that mid-fight would go. I was really surprised by how well Na'Vi did, but it was kind of like they just picked Vici off one by one. When Vici Gaming fight together as a unit, they match up really well to Na'Vi. The SF has to play somewhat defensively because of his item build. Havos doesn't do damage because he has the BKB, so it's this weird balance when, well, Na'Vi don't really have that balance of damage with survivability on any one hero. Like, one hero does the damage, the other kind of has the survivability, but Vici Gaming could just go straight for 10. They're not really putting too much. When they have boss BKBs, they just ignore him. Or if they want to, they focus him down. They've got such great physical damage because of all the bonus damage. The auras, not to mention the Skadi slow, which goes through as BKB.
Yeah, absolutely. Vanguard, or pardon me, has been upgraded now. Crimson Guard on Axe, still not particularly scary for Funnick. He's their initiator. He can lock somebody in place, but now kind of at risk of getting blown up once that Berserker's Call is done and he loses all that bonus armor. Vici, following that successful fight, will move into the Roche Pit. They finish it off and get the Aegis. Ice just racking up the farm, though. He just completed a Shiva's and already a Blink Dagger on top of it.
And he's level 16, so it's going to take an extra 3 attacks to destroy the Supernova, which makes Navi's life very difficult. At the same time, if he uses that Supernova in a really bad spot like he did at the mid lane where he's in the middle of 4 heroes, it's dead no matter how many hits it takes. But
yeah,
that Supernova at the bottom lane there was really well placed. He didn't try... It's one of those things where naturally you want to try use it in the middle of a pack of heroes because it stuns them, but 9 times out of 10 your egg's going to die if you do that. So he does it on the edge where if Navi don't back off, they get stunned, or if they do back off, they're slowed. Medusa's just constantly poking at them, bringing them down. So that Supernova was perfectly placed.
Fanscore's also found a Blink Dagger on his Rubik. Not sure when he was able to pick that up, but has it secured now, and Dendi gets his BKB following that last fight. Dendi's net worth is still insane. 15k. Next highest will be the Medusa at about 11.8. Navi still holding on to a 5,000 net worth and experience lead as they smoke in their jungle. Dendi is hungry for blood here, Parker. Can they find it is the question. FY, oh boy, walks right into the danger zone, and that'll be a quick pick on the poor redhead.
Well, I'm one, but I'm not sure if they'll get too much more immediately out of this, at least.
Yeah, Black still not finding much item progression, though he does have 3,500 gold. So maybe a Manta on the way for him. I don't really know the right way for him to itemize. It might be a game where a Blink Dagger could be something that he considers.
Yeah, I don't think Manta gives much against this game. Blink Dagger fits nicely. Other than that, he needs to just go for either a more like pure DPS build or survivability. But BKB not going to help much against the Axe, the Shadow Fiend, so I don't know if Manta's the way to go here.
Well, we'll see. He's going to have to buy something soon, though.
I'll take that.
If a fight breaks out with all that money not in an item, could hurt.
Yeah, that's where Navi have a 5k lead, but if he's banking money and there's a team fight...
If he's banking 4k, that net worth graph is not very representative of the damage being done. That's for sure.
Yeah, Super, though, he's making up for it on the front line. Skadi, Yasha, this is where Navi kind of struggle to push, because Super doesn't have to worry too much about this positioning. He's got Event Swap to back him up, and he's just naturally tanky as all hell. 1800 HP, Mana Shield, Aegis on him. Navi can't push while he has the Aegis for sure, so they're going to back off, probably just look to keep up their farm. Dendi going to look to maintain his net worth and finish off a Daedalus fairly soon.
So it's a full BKB picked up on Black. So he'll spend all that money now and get that magic immunity. Not the best BKB game either, though. Axe, Gyro, and Shadow Fiend all do a lot of physical damage.
The SF can do a lot of magic damage, but it's not like there's a Yules into Blink type setup.
He does a lot of magic damage, but look at his items. The right clicks are pretty serious this game. It's Glass Cannon Physical that he's optimized for. Funnick caught out in the Ancients. Vici find a free pick-me-up there. Super will grab the last hit, so little bump to the bottom line of the Dusa, who is nipping at the heels of Dendi's Nevermore.
Yeah, and I feel like the late game gets kind of scary for Navi, because if Wind Ranger can transition to a semi-carry, Black's going to be caught up, everyone's starting to hit harder, and we're seeing 47 bonus damage coming out of the Precision Aura, so that's just going to keep on getting bigger and bigger. That's all 5 heroes just hitting a lot harder than they normally would. And Vici Gaming with Aegis in hand, they've still got this for another minute. This is even a high ground attempt.
This is scary. Axe, does he have a buyback here in case it's necessary? Oh, Shadow Fiend's the only one that has it. So Vici with the right call to go high ground. Dire don't have a glyph for another 10 seconds at least, so this tier 3 tower will take a lot of damage. Rubik steals a split shot from the Dusa, not particularly useful here. Super happy just to tank the tower, knowing he'll have a regen rune coming on his way. Avos gets shackled into Go Black. It'll actually latch. Oh no, now Navi in trouble. Avos goes down first, but it's Vici. Dive into base. Supernova flies through. Dendi with the BKB on. Supernova won't do a hell of a lot, but it does zone out Navi for now. Kavos still in the grave, no way to buy back here. They get the kill on the Drill Ranger, however, as she brings down the tower.
What an insane shackle. Go Black's like, oh, you're in front of the racks, I'm behind it, but it shackled like through the melee racks to hit him. And And Havos is just like, I guess I don't have a shield anymore. I don't even, that's just one of those freak shackles where it's like, well, you can kind of blame Goblik for his positioning, but it was just, it's so insanely.
And that was like pretty close to the max
unexpected.
range,
Yeah.
it seemed like, too. That was a really long shackle. I was shocked that it actually hit.
He couldn't BKB. He also spent his money on his MKB, so he didn't have buyback, but luckily for Na'Vi, they do repel Vici Gaming. The physical damage enough to bring down the drought, even with the BKB.
Full dataless on Dendi now, so Na'Vi still finding some item progression. The kill on the Drill Ranger does help in that little trade there, but I don't know. This is sort of turning into an odd game where it's Vici have the obvious lead, but now Na'Vi starting to get some decent items. Dendi still hitting really hard now with the MKB up. I feel like even though Vici have control right now, Na'Vi are certainly not out of this and could turn it around with just one key fight.
It's definitely been momentum leaning towards the Vici Gaming side after Na'Vi had like a 10k gold lead almost, but it's also always scary when Medusa's getting more and more farmed. The later the game goes,
True.
generally the more you favor the Medusa team, but
We're having some pause and a mass set of... And it looks like... Nice server split here, unfortunately. Luckily, we've got some redundant PCs in the lobby, so we've got our aces covered, and it looks like the teams can reconnect. So I said aces. I meant to say asses. I don't know why ace came out. So
we're experts at filling pause time here at BTS.
apparently so. I don't know. Although I've kind of run out of fill today. That Shannon cast I had was... I told him, I'm glad that it's you and I stuck here. If this was me and Merlini, we would have fallen asleep by now. Filling with Ben for 3 hours is tough. Shannon, easy as pie. That guy can talk forever about it. Nothing.
Yeah, it's like, you after an hour, you're just like, what did we talk about the last hour? And you're like, well...
Let's see. Soda, bowel movements, greasy food. 10% of it was maybe Dota related. Usually just theory crafting things from Han and living in the past.
We were doing bubble trouble down here earlier. Syndrome suggested slime soccer, which I got my practice in during
slime
the down
soccer is different from slime volleyball?
same concept, but it just
a net instead of a volley. Okay, that's nice. All right, that was a pretty short pause, though. Team's going to be able to reconnect. It looks like the server is holding steady for now. So, all right, fingers crossed here for server stability, gods.
Alrighty. So Vici Gaming slowly kind of inching back into this game, but it's Na'Vi who've had an undefeated run since their day 1-0-3. That's just crazy to think that they could go undefeated after having such a bad day one and beating some top tier teams in the process, taking out EG, and here they are against Vici Gaming, who's tied third place. So by no means a Na'Vi win yet, but things are looking pretty alright for them. Dendi is just absolutely massive on the Shadow Fiend.
Exactly. That's the thing with it's kind of topsy-turvy. Vici as a team have the gold advantage, but Dendi is still the crown prince, the Dark Lord, if you will, in terms of farm.
Na'Vi have the gold advantage, actually.
Oh, they're still holding on to it. Oh, okay. There we go. 2,500 net worth gain. All right.
It's been swinging Vici's way for some time. Yeah. That's where there's some concern.
That's where it gets scary. Okay. The other thing that is still on my back burner is rapiers this game. Medusa, generally regarded as the best rapier carrier in the game. And pretty common, I think, you'll see her pick one up, especially if this game continues to go on pretty long. We're 30 minutes in and still only one tier 3 down. So if those rapiers come out, Na'Vi can make almost as good of use of it if Havos is able to pick it up. So that's where I see this late game potentially getting really interesting if those big items end up coming out.
I feel like especially with a Phoenix Medusa late game, I'd love to see an Ag Scepter on this Phoenix, just as one of those items to fully rejuvenate the Medusa. You don't refresh the Stone Gaze, but if you Stone Gaze then go into the egg, like, what do you do? Na'Vi can't kill the egg. If Super gets low in HP, that's the move.
Initiation here. FY gets dropped right away. Fenrir as well, taking a lot of damage. They may turn it around onto Funnick. Supernova gets channeled up, and Dendi channels the Requiem. Now he'll move to the high ground. Looks like Vanscore got petrified. He'll steal the Stone Gaze once more, give him a taste of their own medicine. Havos, BK beat up, call downs aplenty, going for Super. Dusa stands her ground for now. Havos will not win this man fight. Gets bested by a lady. Down goes the Abaddon as well. It's a 2 for 3. Na'Vi with only 2 left, but in shambles. Force the TP out. It will be Vici that take the fight.
SF just with some insane burst damage on the win rate Avenge, but later on, like, Vici Gaming just kind of outlasts them. They've got this, at the end of the day, they just do so much damage even with 1 or 2 dead. The Phoenix Egg Supernova was once again placed really well. Not sure. Vanescore stealing Stone Gaze for the second time this gaze. That's a bit sloppy from Super when he can just cast the split shot after the Stone Gaze. Yeah.
You know, I didn't realize that you could steal split shot until earlier today when I was casting with Shannon. We noticed it and we're like, oh, that's kind of funky. But I guess since it's a toggle, not an I guess it's the same as like stealing Rot, for example. You just kind of turn it on and off, so it counts as a spell. It's kind of funny seeing Rubik with the split shot, to admit. So yeah, you're right. Dusa, one of the easier heroes to blocks the ulti steal with. But this is Roche going down here. It will be Vici that grab it. This is Roche number 3. So Aegis and Cheese ready to rock and roll and will go the Radiant's way.
Yep. iceiceice with the Cheese Super on Medusa within Aegis.
Dude, they couldn't kill Dusa once in that last fight. Killing her twice now. Going to be a difficult feat.
Just gives Super the freedom to buy his butterfly as soon as he can afford it to. He's not going to be worried about holding onto his buyback. They can... Oh, Na'Vi looking to make a bold move here. I think they realize a 5-man towards their base is coming, but Super, he scouts it, and that's a hero you want in the front lanes. Na'Vi will see Super and have to back off.
Dendy,
but can they even get out?
He's invisible, now revealed, uses the BKB, ice on the low ground. I think he just got petrified by the Stone Gaze from Vanscore.
Stone Gaze. Oh, I guess it was the same one.
I think it was the same one, but it will cost Vanscore's life, though. Nope, it's just not good for Na'Vi. I was trying to make a case for, well, only one dead, minimize their losses, but they were the aggressors. Na'Vi really wanted that to be, Vici, you can no longer look towards our high ground now, and instead, Vici, look at this, we've got a 5v4, and probably safe to assume this Rubik is not looking so great in terms of buyback.
Yeah. It was a bold move. I think Na'Vi know that when the push comes, Medusa's on the front lines and they can't.
Oh, swap right onto Favos. He gets blown up before the BKB. Oh, now Na'Vi in trouble. Dendy backing up. It will be an instant buyback from Favos. Rubik still dead for 10. He is wearing robes, so I guess you could call him Rubik. But they will try to make the defense here. High ground, taking a lot of damage. Super in the front lines of that fresh Aegis of the Immortal. And it looks like Vici will just wait for some more creeps to try and slow siege here.
It's so hard to find the Medusa. And that's where that smoke gank went so horribly wrong. Super just ran right at Na'Vi, almost knowing they were coming out from that direction. And he doesn't care if he runs into 5 heroes. He's got Stone Gaze, he's got Aegis. That's the ideal hero. For Na'Vi, they want to be running into someone like Black on the Drow Ranger. The Phoenix, if they can catch Phoenix in the Berserker's Core, they kill iceiceice before he can Supernova, before he can even use the cheese that he picked up. But somehow Vici Gaming, Super just, his movement made it seem like he knew exactly what Na'Vi were doing.
All right, Vici don't get the racks they wanted, but forcing a buyback on Havost is still pretty damn valuable. They'll finish off the last outer tower, the tier 2 in the top lane, and I think they've taken the gold lead now. I have to imagine they have. Yep, certainly so. About 5,000 net worth in their favor as Dusa gets her butterfly.
Oh, this is going to be scary. Hard to defend now. MKB coming soon on Den. He's just 500 away if he wants to risk not having buyback, but I feel like that's a risk you just can't do at this point when your Rex is under siege.
He hasn't died yet. 3-0 and 4. Super gets telekinesis into the base, but there should be support inbound. Yes, there is. Ice on the way. Super will stand his ground for now. Call downs coming aplenty, but they will look to focus the barracks now. Dire side have the glyph. They'll pop it to keep the melee barracks alive. The swap onto Dendy. He's BKB'd, but taking a lot of damage. It's a double pop. It looks like does huge damage as he goes down. Wind Ranger as well as the Vengefall, and they get the Aegis, but that's the power of Roche. Dendy will buy back, but they won't save the melee barracks. Now Vici on the retreat. Vanscore blinks forward. Telekinesis onto Super. Funnet comes in with the taunt, but iceiceice is there, dropping the damage. The laser's coming, and it's Na'Vi getting cleaned up. Dusa's still alive. I think they passed her the cheese. And now it's almost a 5-man wipe. Dendy barely alive and may still go down. Vanscore TP or GG's out before Dendy can even make it back to the well. Oh my.
That Sunray did so much damage there in the end. The cheese was used by iceiceice. He ate it himself. Medusa was just so tanky.
She was just so tanky. I was like, how does she have so many hit points still? I guess it was the laser was healing her up also.
Yeah, the laser healing her up and just having Mana Shield meant that didn't take any damage. The only reason Medusa died the first time was because of the double Requiem of Souls. Or, well, the first one and then the dying one from Dendy, but I mean, Dendy the whole game, that death at the end was his only death. Other than that, he played a perfect game, but